Hello, welcome you watching Across the Republic with me, Shavan Sen. Ladies and gentlemen, 11 days on, justice still remains elusive in the Abhaya matter. Today, the Supreme Court has lashed out at the Mamata government. What was her police really doing when RG Kaur Hospital was completely vandalized? Today, we'll take you all this and much more on Across the Republic.
Presenting by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. पढ़ो कुछ बनो.
कोलकाता भैया, यहाँ पे मैं इस इंसिडेंट में आया हूँ. मैंने कलकत्ता के इंसिडेंट पे अपनी टिप्पणी करी है, अपने व्यू रखे हैं. यहाँ पे मैं डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, इसलिए मैं यहाँ इनका मामला उठाने आया हूँ.
Extremely shameful comment by Rahul Gandhi when asked about Abhaya. He calls it a mere distraction. Supreme Court pulls up. Mamata government says don't use force on peaceful protesters. Hours after Supreme Court order, Mamata government violates directives as her cops assault and drag peaceful protesters. Chorus for Mamata's resignation grows louder. BJP stages massive protest in Kolkata. Mamata defies top court order, cracks down on peaceful protesters.
Presenting by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. पढ़ो कुछ बनो.
The Supreme Court, which took a suo motu cognizance of the brutal rape and murder of a junior doctor at Kolkata's RG Kaur Hospital, came down heavily on the Mamata government over the glaring lapses and the probe and the failure to prevent the vandalism on the hospital campus. It also sought the setting up of a national task force to ensure the security of doctors and medical professionals across the country. The apex court also sought a status report from the CBI on its ongoing probe into the RG Kaur Hospital and also the vandalism that took place. In fact, the matter has now been kept for hearing on Thursday, where the CBI is expected to submit its status report. Now watch this report for the latest developments on the story.
The Supreme Court was scathing and unsparing on the Bengal government over the conduct of its probe into the horrific rape and murder of a junior doctor at Kolkata's RG Kaur Hospital. A three-judge bench of Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices J.D. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra questioned the Mamata government over its grave lapses in the probe. The apex court frowned on the delay in filing an FIR into the incident, which it said has put fear in the minds of doctors all across the country. The Supreme Court also asked the Bengal government why the victim's parents were made to wait for 3 hours to see her body. The apex court bench sought the formation of a national task force to ensure the safety of doctors and medical professionals all across the country. Also coming down heavily on the Mamata regime over the vandalism at RG Kaur, the court asked how 7,000 outsiders were allowed mayhem on campus on the night of August 15th. The bench also questioned the inability of the Momata police to prevent the destruction of the crime scene during the vandalism that took place on RG Cor's campus. The court directed the CBI, who was represented by the Solicitor General, to file a status report on its probe into the RG Cor incident, latest by the next hearing, which is on August 29th. The bench also urged doctors to call off their nationwide protest over the RG Cor incident. The strong words of the Supreme Court comes as a stinging indictment of the Momata regime on the question of law, order and women's safety.
Well, as a furious Supreme Court came down heavily on the Bengal government over the grave lapses in the conduct of the probe in the RG Cor rape and murder case, and after Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee took her anger and frustration out on peaceful protesters on the streets, which was also seen as a clear violation of the apex court's warning against the use of the state machinery to crush dissent and peaceful protest. The Mamata government's police cracked down on ABVP activists marching to the state health headquarters at Swasthya Bhavan for justice in the RG Cor case. Take a look at this report.
Hours after the Momata regime was pulled up in the Supreme Court over the glaring lapses in the RG Cor probe, her police did what it does best: crush a peaceful protest. Taking her anger out on the streets after the apex court asked questions the state had no answers to, Momata got her police to crack down on marching ABVP members outside Swasthya Bhavan. Batons rained on the marching BJP student wing members as the police tried to break up the protest near the state health headquarters. Dramatic visuals showed the Momata police in full riot gear going after the peaceful protesters and dragging women activists to police vans as they refused to leave the scene. The ABVP members were marching peacefully to Swasthya Bhavan to demand justice in the RG Cor case. Earlier, coming down heavily on the Bengal government, a 3-judge bench on the apex court asked why there was a delay in the filing of an FIR in this case. Also reserving unsparing words for the Momata regime over the vandalism at RG Cor, the apex court asked why the police couldn't prevent 7,000 outsiders from unleashing mayhem on the campus. As the chants for Abhaya grow louder on the streets, the big question is, does Momata still have people's confidence to remain as the Chief Minister?
Well, rape and murder horror is not an isolated incident in the state of West Bengal. Similar cases, similar probe and the patterns have time and again been on the cards of the Mamata-led regime. And the responses, ladies and gentlemen, has been quite similar. Take a look at this detailed report.
An uncomfortable sense of deja vu seems to exist among the residents of West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee had already weathered a similar storm in the year 2012. A woman was raped in the heart of Kolkata in Park Street in 2012. She had then initiated what has now become a standard operating procedure: doubt the crime itself, shame the victim, and loudly allege a political conspiracy and a social media vendetta. A week after came Kamduni, a second instance of what was to become a distressingly familiar pattern. In the Kamduni case, the body of the victim was found in a field in Ranitola and the rape and murder of a middle-aged woman in Kharjula, both villages in Murshidabad district. In the latter case, the police denied rape and insinuated a love affair gone wrong after arresting one man, despite villagers insisting that she was targeted by a local gang. In 2013, a 16-year-old girl was gang raped twice. And shockingly, the second instance happened because the victim launched a police complaint about the first rape. Not only that, the same men aided by the Trinamool Congress 2 months later set the girl on fire to prevent her from testifying. Then on to 2015, a 71-year-old nun was raped at a convent school in the porous border district of Nodia at Ranaghat. While the charge sheet mentioned gang rape, only one Bangladeshi person was arrested. These are just a few examples. The list is way beyond. In the RG Kaur rape horror probe, a similar pattern was followed. First, the administration reports suicide. Second, a 2-hour delay in calling the cops. Then, hasty cremation and tampering of the crime scene. This has emerged to be a strong cover-up pattern for the Mamata regime. The RG Kaur incident is not an isolated incident of political failure under the TMC government.
State government regarding the investigation, but we still have hope that CBI will give a positive report to the Supreme Court. We were listening to the Supreme Court proceedings live, and the National Task Force has been formed, which is a very good step, of course. But as resident doctors, we hope that there were government doctors and resident doctors included in the National Task Force, because I'm not sure how much the non-government doctors know at the base level the situation, the gravity of the situation what we are facing through. So, still, we still have hope. The Supreme Court has taken it as suo moto and asked for a report within 2 days of the CBI. But when it comes to us, FIMA has decided not to back down from the strike. We are continuing strike because of our agitation. The case has been taken up as suo moto at the earliest. But if we back down now, we feel everything, our efforts will go in vain, because we are fighting for a greater cause, and this is not something that will get resolved within a week or 2 weeks. So until justice is served, we have decided to fight, continue to fight, because this is not the time to back down. FIMA is absolutely correct that we are in a do or die situation.
Few unsensible people are making comments that doctors are avoiding duties and doing this protest. But after a point of time, we would also be continuing protests even with loss of pay. So people should understand that we are not doing it to avoid our duties. We should look at this aspect in two main lights. One is the incident itself, the gruesome incident that took place at RG Kaur, that the nation knows, that should be tackled by CBI, proper investigation. We hope that the Supreme Court and the CBI will do it. And the second aspect is the continuing assaults on doctor nationwide. You can take August 2024, Abhaya. May 2023, Dr. Vandana Das in Kerala was stabbed to death on duty. What is the reason for this? The reason is unrestricted public access to all areas of the government hospital and lack of surveillance, lack of safety. So the government, central government and the state government should work in coordination to tackle these issues, to provide better safety, better surveillance, so that we can work peacefully, so that we can provide better service. Thank you.
Well, in fact, these are images now coming in from Hyderabad. Remember, over the last 11 days, just not doctors, but people from different walks of life have joined the justice for Abhaya. Several now calling out the government in the state of West Bengal, particularly in the manner they have dealt with the situation. These are images now coming in from Kolkata. Let's take a look at the protest that's now taking place in Kolkata. Remember, over the last few days, people have been coming out in large numbers. Well, in fact, protests are intensifying in almost every city across the country. We brought you images from Hyderabad a short while back where our reporters are on the ground. We'll try and go back to my colleague Aneri, who's going to join us in a short while from now from Hyderabad. And what you're seeing right now on your screens, these are images coming in from Kolkata. What is it that they are demanding? They are demanding better security for our doctors and also justice for Abhaya. The reason why many are asking for justice for Abhaya, it's only because of the response that has really come in from the government authorities soon after the murder and rape of Abhaya was found out. As a response, the family members of Abhaya were told that this was a case of suicide. In fact, it turns out from the autopsy report that there are 16 external injuries that were sustained by Abhaya, and the fact that there is a possibility of more than one person. That is something that forensic experts have also been talking about. But remember, the Kolkata police, when they carried out the investigation, they had only made one single arrest, the prime accused in this particular case, and relying on the DNA test. But having said that, there are several unanswered questions. Question number one is with regards to the vandalism that took place at RG Kaur Hospital. And was this really an attempt to destroy the evidence? Remember, just before the vandalism took place, the room adjacent to the seminar hall where body of Abhaya was found was demolished. Many then raised this question as to why exactly was the room demolished in a hurried manner. Was this to stop? Was this to prevent the Central Bureau of Investigation from carrying out the investigation? In fact, this also remains one of the key points of investigation. Apart from that, remember, several questions have also been raised about whether at all there was a deliberate attempt to peddle the suicide narrative. In fact, this is something that has been raised by the family members of Abhaya, who say that they were not even allowed to see the dead body for about several hours put together. Then the bigger question emerged as to why was the police in a tearing hurry to cremate the body of Abhaya. Crematorium staff members who spoke to Republic TV also pointed out that there were 3 bodies in queue, but it was Kolkata police that insisted that body of Abhaya should be cremated as soon as possible. These are 2 sets of images coming in from Hyderabad and Kolkata. First, let me bring in my colleague Ishandev, who's joining us from the Kolkata newsroom. And in the next few minutes, we'll also try and go across to my colleague Aneri, who's been reaching the spot where you're seeing these protests are taking place in Hyderabad. Ishandev, who's joining us from Kolkata newsroom. Let me first take this question to you, Ishandev. There is an SIT that Mamata government has now formed looking into the financial irregularities. What stopped Mamata Banerjee from taking the action much earlier and perhaps also looking into some of those questions that many forensic experts say remain completely unanswered?
Well, Shawan, this is the biggest question right now regarding the formation of this SIT to probe the financial irregularities in RG Kaur when Sandeep Ghosh was the principal there. and this question is being raised by the political parties also. Last night we broke this news that the government of West Bengal has constituted an SIT consisting of 4 very high-ranking officials who are IPS officers, and they will probe this alleged financial irregularities which in RG Court during the tenure of Sandeep Ghosh. And you know that Amit Malviya, the BJP IT cell chief, he has tweeted last night also that this is a ploy by Mamata Banerjee's government to save Sandeep Ghosh, because they want, according to the allegation of BJP, Mamata Banerjee is trying to save Sandeep Ghosh from getting into CBI's custody. By constituting this SIT, they will get Sandeep Ghosh into their own custody, and they will prevent him from going into CBI's custody. So this is a ploy, this is a trap by Mamata Banerjee's government, according to the allegations being brought forward by BJP. So this is a very relevant question right now in Kolkata, that why this SIT was not formed or constituted earlier. Why, after so many things and such brutal killing of Abhaya happened in Arjikar, and the government was compelled to remove Sandeep Ghosh from Arjikar and also from CNMC. Now they are coming to probe these incidents. Were they not aware of all these irregularities earlier? All these things are coming to the surface or to the knowledge of the administration after so many things has happened. These are the questions right now. Shawan.
Well, Ishandev, before I also bring in my colleague Aneri in a short while from now, just a quick question with regards to the investigation that has been carried out so far by the Central Bureau of Investigation. It turns out earlier in the day, Sanjay Roy's close aide was called in for questioning. He was essentially seen running away from the spot. We'll try and see if we can bring that image back and also show our viewers as to what's really happening. Why exactly a man who has been called in for questioning by the Central Bureau of Investigation ran away from that very spot. We'll try and see if we can go across to that visuals also. But Ishandev, who exactly is this person who can be seen running away from the CGO complex?
Well, Shawan, this man is known as Arnab Goswami. Arnab Goswami is a very close aide to this Sanjay Roy, who has been arrested already, and this Arnab Goswami is also a very influential person in the Police Welfare Board. This Police Welfare Board is headed by an officer who is also very close to the Chief Minister of West Bengal. And this Arnab Goswami is a very influential one in that police welfare board, according to sources. And when he was approaching the CBI office at CGO complex, when media tried to ask him some questions, he fled like anything, and he was running away from media to reply to the questions being raised by media. This Arnab Goswami, as I told you, he's not only a close aide to Sanjay Roy, but he is a very influential person in the Police Welfare Board, which is headed by some officers who are very, very close to the Chief Minister. Shawan.
Well, in fact, Ishandev, the fact that you have had this person running away, we would like to, focus on the role, while we are also going to stay with these latest visuals. But quickly, let me show you this person whom you see right now running away. Let's also put out the details of who this person is right now for our viewers to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see right now on your screens is a person who was called in for questioning by the Central Bureau of Investigation, a close aide of Sanjay Roy. He was called in for questioning, and he can be seen running away. Once again to you, Ishandev, why is he so very crucial? On what basis was he called in for questioning? Did he finally appear before the Central Bureau of Investigation?
Yes, Shawan, he appeared before the Central Bureau of Investigation, because the visual which you are showing right now, this is the visual of Arnab Goswami's entrance into the CGO complex. The building which is in front of Arnab Goswami, towards which he is running in this visual, that is CGO complex, and that is the CBI office. He was running towards it when he was summoned by CBI for questioning, and after reaching the CGO complex premises, when media tried to ask him some questions, he started running running towards the CBI office. He was not at all interested to reply to the questions being raised by media. And I was telling you, he is not only close to Sanjay Roy, but he is also a very influential person in the Police Welfare Board, which Police Welfare Board has also come under many controversies in West Bengal. And this board is headed by some officer who is very close to Chief Minister and Home Minister Mamata Banerjee. And this person, this Arnab Goswami, who is running away from media, he is a very influential and active person in that Police Welfare Board, according to sources. Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Ishan Dev, for getting us the latest as far as the investigation goes. In fact, we'll go back to the live visuals that are coming in from Hyderabad as well as in Kolkata. We'll also try and see if we can get you those latest visuals where protests are also going to be carried out in Mumbai's Shivaji Park. So there are several cities. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have been emphasizing, this is not about just one place and people of one city up in arms raising questions about what really our daughters had to go through. Let me quickly go across to Aneri, who is joining us on this broadcast from Hyderabad. Aneri, why don't you speak to some of the doctors who are present there at the protest site and give us a sense of what's really happening there on the ground. What is it that they are really looking forward to, raising questions about the investigation that have been carried out so far?
Well, Shawan, what we have been seeing is that Supreme Court has already taken up the matter. The case has been taken up in the Supreme Court. But amid all of that, we have been seeing that protests continue. Well, not only in the national capital, but all across the country, we have been seeing that how there have been protests which have been taking place. And here right now, as we are in Hyderabad at the Ambedkar statue, Telangana junior doctors from Osmania Hospital, Gandhi Hospital, and all the other hospitals have come together demanding justice. As you can see, they have been holding placards saying that no mercy to rapists, stop violence, justice for Rajikar. Many such placards have been held up here by the doctors here. We'll try and speak to them and know what do you... No safety! Well, as the protest continues, we have been seeing that demand for justice continues over the Rajikar incident which had taken place, and now we see that the doctors continue their protest demanding justice. We'll be right back after a short break. Keep watching Republic TV.